Guild Wars 2 Ice Brute Saga, Bound by Blood.
The prologue.
So the story starts off in the typical way. Someone you've literally never met before sends you an invitation via the mail, and as you're reading it, one of your best pals calls you up to hang out. And for some reason, none of your friends ever want to hang out in the same place. It always has to be somewhere brand new. This time, it's your boy Ritlock. Basically, the two of you were invited to a party. Well, you were invited to a party. Ritlock actually has to go, and since you guys are so cool, you can't let him do this on his own, and of course you end up going to the party with him. The two of you head to the Black Citadel where Ritlock keeps his chopper, and people just flock for miles around to see this thing. I can't even see what's going on. I seriously can't see what's going on. It must be quite the chopper, or maybe people just haven't seen a lot of choppers, because there are so many people around that you don't even notice that Marjorie and Casimir are there after several episodes of not showing up at all. And since they really haven't been up to a whole lot, they decide they want to go to the party with you, so all four of you climb into Ritlock's chopper and you fly off to Grothma Valley. Alright, so now we get to take the chopper. So you get there, and Ritlock's wife? Ooh. You know what that means. Gross. Ex-wife? Krisha just immediately starts scolding you because the dragon child has been changing the color of the crystals in the immediate area. Also, Gorik and Braham are there too? I'm guessing they must have been hidden in that crowd of helicopter enthusiasts as well. Together, you try to explain to Krisha how the new crystal colors are way cooler than the old crystal colors, but then she just up and changes the subject to how you're actually late for this party that you're supposed to be attending, and they won't start without you. Apparently, this is the kind of party that starts with a speech, everyone's favorite, and despite apparently being late, you guys just decide to mosey on into a stadium full of char, literally waiting to party. Are we gonna sit in the stadium? Guys are taking a while to sit down. Is this content? Come on, guys. And slowly get seated. Oh, you get the sweet seats. I see. Now that everyone's accounted for, Scar from the Lion King gives a speech about how it's so cool that the four factions of Char have come together to just party and be cool. We're zooming in. I'm not doing that. What's happening? But then he mentions bloodshed, and everyone just starts killing this purple scorpion. During the slaughter, it's revealed that one of these char is actually Ritlock's son. Ritlock's son and his band of merry scorpion-killing char decide to actually do their job and kill the scorpion, but just like most scorpions, it quickly resurrects and becomes more powerful. So now that the scorpion is even more powerful, the char are a little concerned that maybe it'll be a little bit more of an issue than it once was, and in order to help, you all just decide to fire harpoons at the thing until it's locked in place. Boom. Then, out of basically nowhere, Dragonchild shows up and just changes the color of the scorpion's crystals, killing it once and for all. Now, you'd think that the char would be pretty happy about this, considering all they wanted to do was kill the scorpion, but they like the current color of their crystals, if you know what I mean. Well, I gotta say, I really like the way she brands the thing. That's pretty cool looking. Braham and Ritlock's son decide to go drinking, but before you join the party for yourself, it's time to mingle with some nearby char. Well, this is cool. Pro tip, don't walk up to the NPCs because they just start talking over each other. One at a time. You don't even have to press F. They just start talking. Then it instantly becomes daytime and everyone disappears. Maybe something you said? So you just sort of wander around the party, and you start to realize pretty quickly that this is a pretty big party. This map is a lot bigger than I thought it was. You know, guys, I gotta tell you, this sure looks like a dungeon entrance to me, doesn't it? Maybe this is the strike mission. If it's not the strike mission, I'm super mad that that's not a dungeon. That is so good. That is like the perfect entrance. Occasionally, you come across
Signs of the immediate future,
which can predict real-life events taking place mere minutes before they actually happen. Event schedule board. Oh. Using these magical signs, you manage to scold some children. Ho ho ho, get out of here. Get out of here. A miscreant? hot potato lit torches all the way over to an effigy. I don't think that anybody knows what the heck is going on. Throw it at me, throw it at me, throw it at me, throw it at me, throw it at me. Oh! Ho ho! I did it! I did the thing! Help some char smelt metal. Okay, I got a cog. What do I do with the cog? What do I do with the cog? We take it to the cog. What the heck is this? Oh, I don't need the item. I can just do this. And vanquish kind of a lot of ghosts. Get out of here. Okay, that was a meta event that I participated in. Now that you've built up some pretty serious party cred, it's time to try and mingle again, and you start with Krisha. She totally acknowledges your party cred, but says that some of the big party planners from each of these char factions aren't quite on board yet, and you're gonna need to impress them. First, you go over to the Iron Legion, and they basically ask you to rebuild an engine. So you do that because you need that cred, but after that you're like, I'm just gonna talk to these guys instead. You talk, and you even talk to one guy's daughter and give her a bit of a pep talk about what it's like to be different and not to set other creatures' tails on fire. And eventually you come to the conclusion that most of these people aren't even all that worried about Dragonchild and instead are more worried about other factions as well as renegades. So while you've been conversing with all these different char trying to figure out what's going on, Braham has just been getting drunk off of his ass. And he lets you know, like, every couple of seconds, he just calls you and says something stupid, and then that's it. Well, just like all good drinking stories, eventually, Braham just decides to get himself locked up. And you gotta go bail him out, because that's what friends do, I guess. So, Bram's drunk and he's gonna take forever to walk. Yep. He's still a little drunk, but you're able to get him upstairs and get most of his stuff back, but his bow is missing. Oh. And at this point, you're thinking, great, now I gotta get this guy's bow. I already helped him out of jail. He's been calling me drunk all night. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. But then, like the true friend that he is, Ritlock calls you up and decides it's time to take all of these char concerns over to Scar from the Lion King and get this resolved. Good, I didn't want to do that anyway. I was like, no, don't make me find his frickin' bow. You take all of these concerns to Scar from the Lion King alongside Ritlock and Krisha, but he basically just gets mad about stuff, punches Ritlock, Ritlock punches him, Krisha just kind of stands there, and eventually you decide that you don't really have enough evidence to support your claims. So you take a little walk with your boy Ritlock, and eventually some charges decide to jump him, but no worries, you guys are both totally awesome, and you just take those guys out. Now it's time to find some evidence, so you head back over to Flame Legion guy, and he basically just says that some kids have been talking rumors about how maybe they're rival factions, and that is totally the evidence we were looking for. Well, for the most part. Casmire's also there, and so she puts a little glamour on you to make you look like Ritlock's son, allowing you to get even more evidence. So with your new disguise, you decide it's time to figure out what's actually going on, and since one of the little charlings mentioned that there was a white char missing an eye, you go in search of that char. After speaking with some char in your disguise, you slowly figure out that he might be in the mess hall. You get there, you see Krisha, and rather than keeping your disguise and your cover, you just decide to go over and say hi to Krisha and reveal yourself completely. Standing right next to her, Ritlock calls you and you discuss how you should deal with the situation right in front of her, and she doesn't even mind. Aw, gee, I wonder if she'll hear this conversation. Nope. Well, until you talk to her, and then she's a little upset that you impersonated her son, but she's on board with dealing with all these renegades and gives you another lead. The guy posted up at the entrance to the mess hall sees everybody who enters and leaves, and so he tells you where to go next. Unfortunately, it's revealed that that guy is probably going to go ballistic on your pal Goric, so you gotta track Goric down and try and rescue him. Now, since you still look and sound like Ritlock's son, you can basically do whatever you want, so you kind of just go and break him out. Foot key! They talk to you kind of candidly, and it's revealed that Ritlock's son is actually a member of the Renegades, and he's totally trying to do evil stuff. Also, so you call up Ritlock, and he's like, oh no, we gotta do something about this, and so you meet up with him to do something about that. You all head to Shiver Peaks Pass, and you kinda get cold. It's snowing, there's some ice elementals you have to fight, and eventually you come up on the Renegades themselves. Fortunately for them, they decided to break the bridge, and so it's impossible. It's completely impossible that you could catch up to them or that they would see you. And so you just kind of stand there while Scar from the Lion King goes on some monologue about how we have a dragon and he doesn't, and I guess he wants one. He's also holding Braham's bow. Then next thing you know, this big ice elemental demon thing just spawns and you gotta fight him. The renegades don't hear you fight him, they don't see this thing spawn, they just kind of leave. So you, Ritlock, and Krisha just sort of fight an elemental thing, and after it dies, it gets real cold, so you give up and go home. So that's the end, I think. Alright, we're getting out. Cool, man. That's cool. And the NPCs won't res me, so I'm just gonna die in the cold while Ritlock stands there covered in fur. Is that really how this is gonna end? And that's the end of the story because nothing else happened.